I quit doom scrolling over a year ago and I reduced my screen time to under 30 minutes a day, none of which are spent scrolling. So if you pay attention to this video, I'm gonna help you quit doom scrolling for good. We're gonna cover 3 tactics that I wish I knew back in the day. If you don't know me already, my name is Leo and I help young guys like you quit doom scrolling. Let's get in. The first tactic is to change your self-image. So imagine there's a party, a big party with a fuck ton of alcohol, with a fuck ton of girls, with a fuck ton of like guys as well. All of them are like 19, 20, 21 year olds. They're from college or university. They're just being degenerates. And let's say there's 2 guys that are friends that are there, and they want to quit alcohol. They both have drunken a lot, but they want to quit. And when a guy comes up and offers them a drink, he offers the first guy a drink. Yo, bro, you want a drink or something? And he'll be like, no, bro, I'm actually trying to quit drinking, you know. Do you think he quits drinking? Now let me tell you the other example. A guy comes up to the other guy and asks him, yo, bro, you want a drink or something? And he tells him, no, bro, I don't drink. Which guy do you think is more likely to actually stop drinking? Because objectively, they're both on the same level. Like they both drunk in the same amount in the past. It's just the way that they see themselves that difference. So who do you think will have it easier to quit drinking? Will it be the guy who's trying to quit, who's accepting the fact that he is someone right now who drinks but he's trying to quit, or someone who just sees himself like a guy who doesn't drink at all? It'll be a lot easier for the guy with a better self-image to resist the thing, because his mind, and this is a bit more advanced, right, but hang on, his mind doesn't think that he is the kind of person who does something, therefore his mind finds ways to sort of make that thing real in the reality. It might seem a bit woo-woo, sort of manifest, spiritual, whatever, but it is true. It's like some law of attraction shit, you know? When you think about stuff, or rather that you think that you are a guy who does certain stuff, it's a lot easier for your brain to sort of find ways to keep doing that. It's like you have a rubber band, right? And you're pulling this rubber band, but eventually it's gonna snap back, because you can't pull a rubber band like it's gonna break, right? And you can't pull it like fucking a meter or some shit. It's gonna snap back. And what often happens with doom scrolling specifically is that we might stop doom scroll for a while. We might be really disciplined on the grind, you know, but then one random day we just find ourselves scrolling for like 6 hours or some fucking bullshit like that. You probably had some micro ruts like that. And I'm telling you, bro, it's a lot about just how you view yourself and the kind of person that you tell yourself that you are, you know, and how you see yourself, how you visualize yourself. Because our brain will find ways to justify our beliefs. Like if we think things about reality, our brain will naturally think of ways for those things to be true, because otherwise, like, we would have no way to navigate the world. That's just how our brain works. So the more that we think something, we will sort of attract it. You've probably heard about law of attraction, that kind of stuff. It might have seemed vague and you might not really have understood it, but I'm telling you, it's very powerful in this regard. When you just start seeing yourself as the guy who doesn't scroll on social media. You're not the guy who comes home and fucking just grabs his phone like an NPC mindlessly and starts scrolling away. You're not that kind of guy anymore. Because the thing is, right now you are that guy. You are that guy who is objectively struggling with doom scrolling. Otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. But in a while you will become the guy who just doesn't have that problem in his life. So wouldn't it be nice if you could just wormhole your way, like basically teleport your way to being that guy right now? Wouldn't it be nice? Well, like, you basically can, and I'm gonna explain to you like practically detailed step by step how to do that right now, or at least how I did it and how I have used this concept to my advantage. So this is exactly what I want you to do and what I have done. You go into a page, like for example on your notes or on Notion or on Google Docs or even on paper, you know. You just go into a page where you can write something, and then you visualize the version of you, let's say 3, 6, or 12 months from now, that has eliminated doom scrolling entirely from his life. Like, you don't even think about it anymore. It's not in your mind. It's not a problem at all. You describe that guy with traits. Like, for example, he is sharp in his brain. For example, he can focus on studying or working on his business for 4 hours straight or something like that. Like specific traits and skills that you imagine the version of you that is like has quit doom scrolling has. You imagine that guy. What is he like? what people does he hang around with? What content online does he consume? Not just doom scrolling, but like which people does he try to learn from? What foods does he eat? What things does he do on a regular basis? Like, what is his morning routine? What things, like all the aspects of his life. Think of as many as you can, and then you write all of them down. So by the way, like, this is not a like little dopamine video. Like, I actually want you to go into a page like Notion, for example. I love Notion. You go into there and actually do this, and then you continue watching the rest of this video. So by now, you have your document, you have your page with the things written down about the future version of you that you imagine that will have quit doom scrolling for good. You imagine that guy. Now, I want you to brainwash the fuck out of yourself to believe that you are that guy already. This is gonna seem a bit like absurd, and you might have a fuck ton of limiting beliefs around this, but I'm telling you, it's like, just listen to me. I've done this, and it's so incredibly powerful. It's one of the fastest ways to get rid of doom scrolling as an addiction. Because if you want to become a type of guy, like you want to become someone, the only difference between you and that person is what you do, fundamentally. That's all the difference is. So just decide that you already are that person right now, even if you're objectively not. That doesn't actually matter. Like, it's just about your brain and your mind and how you wire it, which will manifest in your actions, okay? So just decide that you already are that person. I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds absurd. Just fucking trust me on this one, okay, bro? Just pretend like you are that motherfucker right now who's locked the fucking on his grind. He doesn't doom scroll. He doesn't fucking grab his phone mindlessly and has shit attention span. He can't even focus on fucking shit, you know? It'll be so much easier to start acting like them if you genuinely think and believe that you are that guy. So just try your absolute best to brainwash yourself into believing that. I watched a video about a month ago from a guy called Hamza Ahmed. He's a big self-improvement business creator. I absolutely love the guy. Like, he's a fucking legend. Go check him out right now if you want to. Great guy. He was doing a fuck ton of kickboxing just like a few months ago, and he was talking with his coach once, and he asked his coach, like, do you think that you have to train like a pro fighter? Because his coach is a pro kickboxer, and he asked him, do you think that you have to train like a pro fighter to become a pro fighter? And his coach was like, yeah, of course you need to. Like, how the fuck y'all's gonna, like, how you gonna become a certain type of person if you don't act like them, you know? So, and that was kind of interesting, because most people, they, for example, let's say with kickboxing, with this example, some amateurs, they might come into the gym and think that they're gonna be fighters one day, but they don't train like it. Like, I have actually, like, I've also done kickboxing. I had 3 fights in one day, and yeah, I've trained martial arts for about 1.5 years. Like, some amateurs might come into the kickboxing gym and think that they can train like once or twice or thrice or a couple, like 5 times a week or some shit like that, some gay amateur shit, and become pro fighters and become like really good at the sport. But that's not how it works. Like, you're gonna become, if you train like an amateur, you're gonna be a fucking amateur. No shit, you're gonna be an amateur. So like, like, this is fucking common sense. Like, if you want to be a certain type of guy, if you want to be the guy who doesn't scroll, doesn't have that problem in his life, you gotta act like him, okay? And I know that's what we're trying to get you to do, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot easier if you just blindly think to yourself that you already are that guy. You see yourself as that guy, you visualize him, you think that you are that guy. I'm telling you, bro. Just fucking trust me on this one. So what I want you to practically, tactically do is to align everything in your life to the 2.0 version of yourself. So let's say your name is Andy, okay? Your name is Andy, okay? Right? So you are right now Andy 1.0, you know? Or let's say you're 2.0 already or something like that, because you might have been a complete subhuman, like fucking dopamine goblin before, and you've made some progress. But let's say just for simplicity, you're Andy 1.0 right now. And you want to become Andy 2.0, because that guy doesn't have the problem of doom scrolling. He's eliminated it. He's fucking focused. His mind is sharp. All that stuff. I want you to align everything in your life to that guy, to that identity, okay? So I want you to shed skins like a fucking serpent, like a snake. And the way that I've done that practically is from a couple of things. Like, for example, wearing new clothes, spending time in different places, buzzing my fucking hair. I've done that a few times. Hanging out with different people, reorganizing my room, eliminating things from my diet that doesn't align with my new goals, and all these micro decisions in your life that you that are related and sort of aligned with your current version, you change them, you iterate, and some you delete to this new version of yourself. Like for example, you might not have that small talk with that little gay fucking little retard in your school or some shit that's kind of a bully, but he says it's only a joke or some shit, and you just take that shit. But that's a side point. I want you to align everything in your life to your new identity. Okay, like if we want radical and drastic results in this area of quitting doom scrolling and not wasting so much time and gaining our fucking life and potential and energy and time back, like all of it, we have to take radical action, obviously, because I've done that definitely. And yeah, like when you do shed skins, when you shed layers of yourself like this, it's like you teleport, you wormhole your way through time and space to another guy. It's like you pull reality forward. Like how powerful isn't that shit? You literally like that's the fastest approximation to buy, or like not buying, but getting more time. Like everyone said, you can, like, time is finite, you can't get more time, and yeah, that's true technically, but you can pull reality forward by just like cheat coding your way, like just fucking convincing yourself that you are that guy, and you'll just automatically act like him a lot more because you want to act in alignment with your identity. That's just human nature, and we want to use that to our advantage. And you can also do things like changing your wallpaper on your lock screen wallpaper on your phone that reminds you of the new version of yourself that you are. You can stop hanging out with the people, you can ditch the people in your life that don't encourage you to be this version of yourself, that accept complacency and unambition and all that stuff. You can ditch those people and change your social circle, which might be a bit hard, obviously, to just change your social circle like that. But one very easy way to do it actually is to just consume from the right creators online, from the guys that you look up to, from the guys you know for a fact doesn't have a problem with scrolling on his fucking phone or some shit like that, that's just sharp and mentally like productive all the time and stuff. You find those guys online. Maybe I'm that guy, who knows. You find those guys, you consume a fuck ton of their content. you can keep watching these videos, bro. I need that fucking ad revenue. Come on, bro. You can, but yeah, just find the creators online that you resonate with and that you look up to, that you know are like the 2.0 version of you that doesn't have doom scrolling as a problem in his life, and you just consume their content and sort of download their mindset into your brain. That's one way of doing it for sure, which I've done a fuck ton. Like, I've consumed so much content of people like Andrew Tate and Hamza Ahmed and Alex Ramosi and other guys, Luke Belmar, all those guys. And this is very useful if you lack inspiration. Like if you tried doing this, you've tried writing things down, but it doesn't really come for some reason. You can't really visualize the version of you that's has quit doom scrolling for good. You can just use other guys as inspiration and basically copy them, which sounds fucking gay, I know, but it is very effective. Like, just when you've consumed enough content of someone, you can use their decision-making calculus and apply it to your life, which basically means that you use their mind for your situation, which is a cheat code, Like, for example, this will probably hurt your ego a bit, or perhaps it won't, but if you haven't made any progress in, for example, this area, if you've made very little progress, then your brain can't really be trusted, I reduce my screen time to 30 minutes a day, and I don't doom scroll ever, So I know that I've got it locked down with this stuff. At least I'm not gonna get complacent. Obviously, we'll see if I keep this up in the future. But at least for the time being, I'm absolutely certain that I'm very capable of this, and that's why I want you to listen to me. Okay, so if you can, for example, use my decision-making calculus, if you can imagine what Leo would think about your situation, what would he do in that situation, and just try to copy that the best as you can. Doesn't have to be me, obviously. You can find, like, there are so many good creators nowadays. So just find the people that you look up to and drive inspiration from and learn things from, and just try to act like they would act in your situation. And the last thing that I want to add with this is that if you are too down bad, let's say you're scrolling for like 10 hours a day, some shit like that, 8-10 hours a day, it might be a bit unreasonable for you to, for example, imagine the 2.0 version of you being completely free from it. So you might, for example, make it a bit more unreasonable to, let's say, 2 to 3 hours a day or something like that. And then from there, you can get it down to 0, obviously. That's the ultimate goal. But like we want to have reasonably unreasonable goals, but we want to make sure that they're actually like that they help us. So like there's no point of me, for example, like I'm not a bit like I'm a relatively skinny guy, you know. I'm like what 150 55 pounds at like 6 foot. So like and I'm not fat either. So I'm a skinny guy. So if I, for example, wanted to go into a bulking season of my life, I'm not gonna tell myself that I'm gonna gain 50 pounds in like 5 months or something. Like I'm not gonna do that. So it doesn't help me. But I can say I'm gonna gain 10 or 20 pounds. Let's say 20 pounds. That I think that's reasonable in like 5 months if you do it properly, at least from what I've seen. So just use that for your own, like for your to your advantage, and think to yourself, what is reasonably unreasonable for me to achieve. Not, you don't want to have this small dick, small ball mindset of like one, like just reducing your screen time by like 1% a day or some bullshit like that. We want to have radical and drastic results. So, but just make it relatively reasonable. Now, if you want me to explain every single step of the way to quitting doom scrolling for good, I lay out all the specific tactics in my program called No Scroll Protocol. If you want to check it out, it'll be linked in the description. I really think it's good. I really think it's going to be valuable if you watch this far into this video and you're the kind of guy I talk to. I think you'll really find it valuable, and you can go have a look at it right now. It's in the description. Now, the second tactic is to remove all other bad habits in your life. So let me explain. So one of the core reasons that we doom scroll and that we keep scrolling, even though we might not really want to at certain times, like when you're watching this video, your brain is sort of in a mode that in which you think that doom scrolling is fucking terrible, obviously. But then while you're doing it, you're a bit more like, this is kind of comfortable. At least that's your subconscious. And the thing that happens when you are in that doom scrolling cycle is that you receive dopamine hits. You've probably heard about a lot about dopamine over the last like 2-3 years. It's been popping off with people like Andrew Huberman and Hamza. So dopamine is, if I were to explain it very simply, it equals motivation. So dopamine is not actually the pleasure, the reward of an activity. It is the motivation, it's the drive, it's the pursuit, it's the hunt. Okay? So how this looks in doom scrolling is that you open your phone and you scroll, and then, or rather, you open your phone, you watch a video, you get more dopamine from that video for scrolling to the next one. So you get motivation to scroll for the next one. You get a little dopamine hit every time you scroll like this. You get motivation. You just want to quickly scroll and get to the next video, and that's how you get stuck in the cycle, in the endless scrolling. So when you scroll, your dopamine levels spike. They rise up like drastically, sharply. Let's say you have, just to quantify it, you have 100 dopamine points just normally. And then when you scroll, that shit rises up to 150, 200, 250, 300 if it's really stimulating. And then you plummet, actually. When you're done with the scrolling session, when you for example, you've come home from school or some shit, you're just laying on the couch, just scrolling away, and you've done that, and it's time to like eat dinner or go to the gym or something. Your overall dopamine levels in your life, like your motivation overall, is gonna be a lot lower because it rises up and then it actually plummets down below the original baseline, which is why it fucks everything up. Okay, so let's say you want to go to the gym at 6 p.m. You come home at 4 p.m. You scroll for 2 hours. You're going to be way less likely to actually hit the gym session after the scrolling session because your dopamine receptors are fried, and you don't have the same level of motivation that was required for you to go to the gym. And the thing is not just about like using discipline. It's also the thing of like, is a bit deeper and darker, but like when your dopamine levels also fucked, when they've gone up so much and then plummeted back down like so much lower than the original baseline, you not only lose the desire to do the activities, like for example go to the gym and do the work or the studying or the whatever it may be, martial arts class. You don't just lack desire for those, you actually lack desires, or you start lacking desires for the thing that they get you. So just like grasp that for a second. you want, like for example, let's say you wanted a 10 out of 10 physique and you're going to the gym and you're trying to achieve that. Cool. Fuck yeah. When your dopamine receptors are so fried, you start not only not desiring going to the gym, but also getting the physique. It becomes less appealing. You just lose motivation overall, not just for the activities, but also for the thing that you want to get, which is fucking, like, it's so terrible. That's where depression comes from. That's why so people are so unambitious in life. They don't have a grand vision because their dopamine levels are so fucked from all the scrolling and plus the other bad habits that they don't even, like, they lack the ability to desire the growth and the, let's say, money or physique or accomplishment, like things in life that we want. And which is, it's just so sad, you know. It goes to show just the level of fucking insanity that the world has been brought into, and with all this fucking addiction and stuff. So that's what dopamine does. And in the context of quitting doom scrolling, it's going to be so much easier for you to quit doom scrolling if you remove all other things in your life that spike your dopamine levels. So that might be, for example, pornography or masturbation. Fuck that haram shit. Like, just stop doing that shit immediately. Sorry, bro. Fuck. Stop doing that shit. Stop eating all this palatable junk food. Movies, shows, like TV series, that kind of stuff as well. Video games, very stimulating. Like, video games are such a fucking big one, you know. Like, you get all this feeling of achievement and accomplishment and progression and brotherhood and adventure inside the virtual world, and it stimulates you so much because of the fact that it's so easy to get. It's the same thing with scrolling. Like, it's so frictionless to do. It's so pain-free. It's so risk-free. You can just open your phone whenever you want to and start scrolling. Like, there's no friction to it. There's no risk to it that your brain perceives. Obviously, there is a risk of losing, like, time and, like, losing your life, basically. But your brain doesn't have context on that. It can't perceive that, really, because it's our biology is not designed for the modern world. But that's a bit of a side note. But if you can remove other bad habits in your life, it's going to be a lot easier to remove scrolling from your life. So I want you to analyze your current situation. What things are you doing on a daily basis? Are they spiking your dopamine levels? Like video games, porn, junk food, movies, that kind of stuff. If you can quit those, it's going to be a lot easier to quit doom scrolling, and there's going to be a lot more, like, bliss and sort of hope in your life as well, which is fucking incredible, man. So I want you to, like, do it's gonna be hard, obviously, to just quit bad habits right like that, because if you've done it for years, it's gonna be hard to just do like that. But I want you to think about this as a flywheel effect. So one thing you do leads to another thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to the original thing. So when you manage to quit video games, for example, you sort of slow the flywheel down, because now the flywheel is just going around, like the flywheel of dopamine. And if you manage to remove video games from your life, for example, if you're a gamer as well, you will, like, it'll slow down, it'll add friction to it. And if you also remove movies and porn from it, it'll slow the thing down. So, and with each thing that you remove, it'll be easy to remove the next one. That's the key point. So if you get the ball rolling and you get the momentum up, you build momentum, it's gonna exponentially drop, and you're gonna make a fuck ton of progress. So I wanna tell you that it'll be difficult, obviously, but if you're watching this kind of content and you're educating yourself and stuff, I really think you're the kind of person who can do this. So the third tactic is to create your morning and nighttime routines. So it's 2023, it's a Friday night, it's about 8 p.m. I'm 15 years old, I'm on self-improvement. I had my little disciplined morning routine in the morning. I did my cold shower, I made my bed, all the stuff that I'd heard online from these guys that I'd watched, like Andrew Tate and Jocko Willink and David Goggins and all these hard guys. I ate my healthy breakfast, I'd stopped eating, like, unhealthy food, junk food and that kind of stuff. I went to school, I did what I was supposed to do in school. I came home, went to the gym, did some boxing, life's feeling good. I ate dinner, and it's about 8 p.m. now. It's about 2 hours until my bedtime, and I'm not really sure what to do with it. I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of bored. I'm a bit lonely. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't have anything planned. So, what do you think I do? I grab my phone like a fucking mindless NPC, and I lie down on the bed, on my fucking bed, I'm a fucking fighting age male. I'm a pubescent fucking. I was a boy at the time, but I'm a young man, or we can call it that. I was a young man. I should be filled with energy. Fuck. I should be filled with energy 24/7. But I lie down on my phone, or on my bed, with my phone, and I start scrolling like a fucking retard. Okay, like a fucking imbecile. I start scrolling mindlessly. I don't even know why, really. But it feels kind of productive. You know what? Because I'm watching Sigma grind, like hustle culture, TikToks, with Patrick Bateman edits and that kind of stuff. By the way, I'm not shitting on the grind hustle culture. I'm part of that right now, but like, it depends on how you see it. Obviously, I'm locked in on the fucking grind, obviously, but like I don't believe in complacency or on ambition or things like that. But yeah, so I'm lying down. It feels kind of productive because I'm watching like Andrew Tate TikToks and stuff, and Patrick Bateman edits, and all these like cool looking guys and stuff. So it feels kind of productive, But at the end of the day, I don't accomplish shit. 10 p.m. rolls around. My bedtime is 10 p.m. I should be going to bed, but you know what? Nah, I can keep scrolling a little bit more. It's just a few more minutes, right? A few more minutes, yeah. And then I scroll until like 11:30. I lie in this position, the fetus position, with like on the like a fucking baby with my phone, and just scroll in the dark like a fucking little, I don't know what. The next day, I wake up to my alarm. I'm supposed to do my morning routine, but I'm fucking tired, man. I've slept less. I'm kind of sleep deprived. It's a fucking Saturday. Why not just hit snooze? And people say I should get a lot of sleep as a teenager, so why not do that? So I click on snooze. I lay down. I keep stay in bed. And then when I'm finally up, like half an hour later or some shit, I grab my phone, because I don't have any momentum for the day. I grab my phone and start fucking scrolling again like a fucking retard. I'm tired and I'm comfortable in bed. Like, that's just what happens. And I told myself that it was just a quick check, just I can just I can see what things are up. But it turns into more like an hour. An hour of my morning wasted, plus the snooze and stuff. So the lesson from this that I want to teach you is that during nighttime, like just before we're gonna go to bed, and in the morning, at least I am, or was, very vulnerable to doom scrolling. And you probably are as well. Like, you probably had countless times when you wake up on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, it's weekend, your phone is within arm's reach, you just fucking grab it, start scrolling. Like, you probably had a lot of times like that, don't you? Or haven't you? Because the thing is, when we do that in the morning, and when I did it, my entire like daily routine just shattered, and my whole momentum for the day just it disappeared. It didn't exist. So it was a lot harder to be productive, not only in the morning, but throughout the entire day, because I hadn't followed my plan, And when we get a quick win in the morning, it's a lot easier to turn that into more wins, and just go from there and build momentum and be productive all day. And at nighttime as well, like you might have some free time, like after you eat dinner and when you're gonna go to bed and something like that, when you come up from the gym. And that's also a time when we can be quite vulnerable to doom scrolling. At least I was. So the solution to this is to create your own morning and nighttime routines. So with a nighttime routine, the thing with that one is that it affects the morning routine. Like, if you don't nail your nighttime routine, if you fuck everything up at nighttime like I did, it's gonna affect your morning. So you need to dial that one in. So with your nighttime routine and also your morning routine, they need to be the same every single day. So you need to be waking up and going to bed at the same time every single day. Weekends, they don't actually exist. It's not actually a thing. You know what? Like, it's a social construct designed for the modern 9-to-5 rat life. Like, they need workers to have some rest on the weekends or some shit, but it doesn't actually point to your human capacity. So it's not about, like, it is not relevant for us. I've not believed in weekends for like 3+ years or some shit like that. So weekends don't exist. You wake up and go to bed at the same time every single day. You set that in stone, and then with your nighttime routine, you pick some things that you think will be conducive to you not scrolling and sort of things that will fill up your time between the last activity you have in the evening, like for example the workout, you come out from the gym or whatever, you do some work on your business, you study a bit, or you eat dinner, for example. Between that and when your bedtime is, you need to have your nighttime routine in that space. So let me give you some examples of the things that I've done. So my nighttime routine right now, and it's been similar to this for like 1 to 2 years now. And yeah, so I'll tell you mine right now, which is like my current one. So I come home from my workout. I work out outdoors in the park. Then I come home. I brush my teeth. I have a cold shower. Like I shower with soap and stuff to clean myself after the workout. Then I go into my room. I fix all the lighting. Like I draw the blackout curtains. I make sure that there's no like small little gap where light comes in. I turn on my little little lamp on my table. Not a lot, just a dim light. I have no overhead lights at that time because I don't want that when I'm going to go to bed. I don't want a lot of lighting when I'm going to go to bed because I want to get sleepy, right? That's self-explanatory. Then I grab my bathrobe. I put that on because I've just showered. I'm not putting on new clothes. I'm putting on my bathrobe. Then I go and check my boxes on my habit tracker. Like I have a bunch of habits that I do, like eat the frog and keto and bedtime and plan the next day and NSDR before bed, meditation, a bunch of stuff that I do. I check all the boxes that I've done throughout the day, and obviously I don't lie, or I'm honest about that to myself. So I check the boxes on my habit tracker. Then I go into my computer. I enable the blue light filter on my computer, not just a normal one that they have like inside the actual like the normal Windows computer, but I have an external app which is called f.lux, which you can download. It's absolutely free on your laptop. And yeah, it turns the screen way more red and orangey, which is the opposite of blue light, which and it makes you more sleepy, which is fantastic. And then I put on some calming music, maybe some lo-fi music, maybe some 432 hertz music, which is, it's a side note, but like the music industry is a fucking scam, and they have the like a frequency of the sound in modern music is harmful to humans, which basically no one knows about, obviously. But I have you can just search 432 HZ frequency music sound whatever on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. It's very calming. It's not actually music with any song or anything like that. It's just like calming sounds. You can have a look on YouTube. Or I might, for example, listen to Minecraft music and that kind of stuff, which is kind of lo-fi-ish, you know? Like, no, like all the music that I listen to at nighttime is instrumental. None of it is like, there's no song or anything. So, yeah, that's what I do. And then I get into bed. I turn off all the lights in my room, the remaining lights. I put my retainers in for my teeth, like some, some plasticky things. And then I put on my headphones and I listen to Andrew Huberman NSDR, which is non-sleep deep rest. You can search on Spotify or YouTube. It helps you fall asleep, or at least it does for me. And then I put my phone on charge and that kind of stuff. And then I put my mouth tape on as well, because I don't want to mouth read at night. I put it's a micro pore tape. It's absolutely safe to use. You just put it on over your mouth. And you get a better jawline and stuff. It's way more healthy to breathe through your nose than your mouth, and it's like 8 hours of your fucking day. So why the fuck wouldn't you, right? And then sometimes I'll use earplugs / some brown noise like music. You can search our brown noise as well. So that's kind of what I do. And I also have throughout like the majority of my time on self-improvement, on this journey of productivity, of discipline, I have read like for 20-30 minutes in bed with a dim light every single night. But I'm experimenting with NSDR instead of reading before bed, because I want to get a Kindle and I want to be able to read on the Kindle like with low brightness and stuff. I don't want to have an actual physical copy because it's a little bit less practical, I've realized. And I want to be able to lie in the fetus position, like in the sideways, because that's how I sleep, that's what the position in which I sleep. So I want to be able to lie like that and read still on my Amazon Kindle, which I'm gonna get at some point, and I'll update you on that. But yeah, that's my nighttime routine, and that's pretty much all the things that I have done like throughout my time, like having known about nighttime routines. And then for my morning routine, right now I just wake up at I'm gonna be really real with you for a second. I wake up at 3 a.m. every morning to work on my business, and I obviously haven't done that. I've only done that for like what is it, 5 days now, 4 days, something like that. But for the majority of my time, I've woken up at about 6 a.m., which is still nice and early, obviously. So the thing with morning routines is that for me, I want to wake up early because if I wake up late, it's a lot less like a significant time. Like I'm never gonna wake up and start scrolling at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. I'm not like 3 a.m. Okay. By the way, I go to bed at 6:30 for that. So like I'm not gonna start scrolling at 3 a.m. Neither will you, obviously. Like you'll start scrolling at 4 p.m., 8 p.m., maybe like I don't know, 11 a.m. or some shit. But you will never start scrolling at 3 a.m. or 4 or 5, even 6, I would say. Like you'll never start scrolling during those time periods, which then allows you to go up, do something productive, collect your first win of the day. Like for example, something that I've done for a long time now is cold showers. Like by the way, I haven't taken a hot shower in what is it now, 2 years and a couple of months. Like I'm being dead serious. Obviously, I've had like hot baths and stuff to like if I need to clean myself extra or some shit like that. But I haven't had a hot shower in more than 2 years. Right? I've only taken cold showers. So I've always like for the past 2 years I've always had like a cold shower in the morning. Right now I have them a bit later. Like for example, when I'm gonna be on camera like this and I go out to the forest and record, obviously I'm gonna go into the shower and like clean a little bit before I'm on camera. But if I'm just by myself scripting YouTube videos, for example, I'm sitting with stinky breath without having even fucking brushed my teeth or showered or anything. I just sit at my desk and start working. That's sort of my routine right now, which I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And it's my sort of first win that I get to collect every single morning is the time that I can start working. So I see the time on my laptop when I open it, and I want to get it down as much as possible. It's sort of a little gamification. But for the majority of like if that's not feasible for you, if that's not realistic, or if you don't want to do that, I understand that obviously. You can instead have something like a cold shower or meditation or making your bed or all three. The first thing in the morning. That's literally what I had in my morning routine for like 1 to 2 years, really, from like 2022 to late to like 2025, the beginning of this year, to be honest. So I want you to have a morning routine and a nighttime routine, and I want you to construct them in a way that is conducive to you not scrolling, in the way that you, with a morning routine, build momentum for the day, so that you can be more productive throughout the day, and you're not just avoiding scrolling in the morning, you're avoiding scrolling throughout the day, because you get your first win, you get a bit hyped up, you're like, fuck yeah man, let's do this, and you get more motivation for the day, and it's fantastic. And then for the nighttime routine, I want you to make sure that there's no dead time between the last activity that you do, like the big activity in the evening, dinner, workout, business, studying, whatever, and your bedtime. That time is now filled with your nighttime routine. So it might be, for example, meditating a bit more. It might be reading a book. It might be what else? Like you can probably think about some stuff you want to do. I obviously shower, brush my teeth, do that kind of stuff, and then I go into my room and do the other stuff. And something that you can do in your nighttime routine is to go into your calendar. If you don't have one, make one ASAP. You're planning for the day, like for tomorrow, or if you don't have one, make one, and you plan specifically what you're gonna do throughout tomorrow. That's what I do every single night. So I eliminate this decision fatigue and stuff. I can just wake up, do my morning routine, operate, not think about stuff like decisions. Just do what my calendar says. It's a very good productivity tactic as well. So I want you to get your nighttime routine dialed in. I want you to get your morning routine dialed in, and I want you to get them sort of in, like I want you to ingrain them inside of you. I want them to be part of you. I don't want you ever to miss them, or like obviously you might fuck up sometimes. I'm not gonna blame you for that. Obviously we'll slip up at sometimes, but we will absolutely want to minimize it, obviously. So get your morning routine dialed in, get your nighttime routine dialed in, and it'll be a lot easier to quit doom scrolling. At least it was for me. And if you combine that with the two other tactics of changing your self-image to the 2.0 version of you that's already achieved what you want to achieve in this area of your life of doom scrolling, of quitting doom scrolling. And you also remove all other bad habits from your life, or at least as many as you can, to get the ball rolling so your dopamine levels go down, and then it'll be a lot easier to quit doom scrolling as well. If you do all three, you'll quit doom scrolling so fast it feels illegal. You can check out my program, No Scroll Protocol, in the description. If otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one, bro. See you.